Diana has escaped the Underworld and has returned to Gateway City. What's next for the last Amazon? Welcome to the Comicstorian Complete Story Series, where you get audio dramas of your favorite comic books, helping you decide what to go out and add to your collection. Today we continue Absolute Wonder Woman with issue 8 by Kelly Thompson. I hope you enjoy. Diana opens her eyes. She is sitting somewhere in the wilds of Gateway City. She smiles at the small animals that have gathered around her. "Hello, my darling. Are you next?" she asks quietly as she picks up a pigeon. The bird coos gently at her as Diana attaches another message scroll to its leg. She picks up each of the birds in turn and gives each of them a scroll. "Please, my friends, search far and wide for my sisters. Bring me news of them and take my message to them in turn. Go in faith and hope. Hecate protects you and all you love," Diana says to them as the birds take flight and flap away. Diana watches them until they disappear. "Thank you," she whispers. Meanwhile, at an undisclosed location in the western United States, Director Veronica Kale has arrived at Area 41, the headquarters of the Global Anti-Terrorism Organization. Kale doesn't bother looking at the security guards as she makes her way through the compound, eventually taking the elevator down to sub-level 7. "How's her mood?" Kale asks the security technician as she looks down on the glass bubble cell that lays in the room beneath her. The security woman looks up from her control panel. "She's, a bit agitated," the woman admits. Kale nods and sighs. "That explains the 79 emails I received from her this morning," Kale notes as she pulls on a gas mask and prepares to enter the cell. "Keep your hand on that button while I'm in there," she orders over her shoulder. The technician nods as her hand hovers over the venting button for the cell. Kale prepares herself for a moment before hitting the door release. The doors slide open and she walks up to the glass bubble.
"Kale, you unbelievable bitch!"
Dr. Poison growls as she turns to look at her visitor. Kale doesn't respond as she sits before the glass cell. "Dr. Poison, what on earth can I do to please you today?" Kale finally asks. Dr. Poison stalks forward in her heavy suit and bangs on the glass, once again demanding a new suit. "For the last time, I have people working on it," Kale tells her, reminding the prisoner that there have been a fair amount of new developments in the last 24 hours. But Poison waves away the notion.
"I don't care about your stupid Wonder Woman. I care about a new suit so I can get my fine motor skills here. Do you know how hard it is to do delicate experiments in this World War II relic?"
she snaps. But Kale finally smiles a little beneath her gas mask as she holds up a recording device. "You're going to change your tune when I play something for you. I'm curious if you'll have a different reaction to it since you're non-corporeal." Dr. Poison suddenly slides out of her suit, revealing that her body is made up of sentient poison gas. Kale taps the play button on the recording, and the poison gas visibly begins to shake, ripples passing through it as if it is somehow in pain. Kale finally hits the stop button, and Poison stares at the recording device in fascination. "See what you can do with it. I know it's not your specialty, but you're simply one of my best, Poison. I'll check in at the end of the week," Kale says as she passes the recording through the slot and stands to leave. Poison slides back into her suit and picks up the device, turning away to immediately start working. Her issues with their arrangement are forgotten for the moment as inspiration hits her. Kale heads back up to the security office, staring down at the doctor in her cell as she quickly gets to work. She's requested an exit permit. 2 hours. Fresh soil samples, she says, the tech tells her. Kale stares at the doctor for a moment before nodding. Approved. 2 hours. And she takes an armed guard, Kale orders. Meanwhile, back in Gateway City, Steve Trevor has led Barbara Minerva and the sisters Gia and Etta to Diana's forest home in the middle of the city. "Wow," Barbara says as she looks around. She is drawn to a stone in the center of the clearing and slowly reaches out for it. "Look at this stone," she whispers. But Diana is suddenly there and takes hold of Barbara's hand. "Please don't touch the stone, Barbara. It is untouched by human hands, and I need it to stay that way just a bit longer. You may examine it at your leisure when I finish," Diana tells her. Barbara nods in disappointment. "All right," she whispers. Diana thanks them all for coming and takes the ingredients she asked from Gia. "This property is worth a couple million easy. They're not just gonna let you have this, Diana, much as they should," Etta notes. But Diana smiles and shakes her head. "I think you'll find that I own it already. The land is mine. Though, owning land is admittedly an odd concept to me," Diana tells them. She begins to lay the ingredients out and ushers her friends away, asking them to step outside the clearing while she prepares a spell. Barbara tries to argue that she would like to watch and study, but Steve takes hold of her arm. "Barbara, you'll soon learn to question her less. Trust me," Steve whispers as they step away. Alone once more, Diana looks down at her ingredients. She reaches for her knife and gently cuts her arm, drawing the necessary blood for the needed spell. Her eyes begin to glow as she calls out to the gods, asking for the aid of Hecate, Athena, Artemis, Hestia, Aphrodite, Demeter, and Hera to place her home and to aid her in her quest. The ground begins to rumble beneath her as stone pushes its way to the surface. When Diana opens her eyes again, a new home has formed before her. Moments later, Steve and the others return, shocked to find a full marble building standing before them. "This was absolutely not here 5 minutes ago. This is insane," Barbara whispers, but Steve just nods and smiles. "This is knowing Diana," he tells them. The door opens and Diana steps out, ushering them in with a smile. "Come, I've made tea," she calls. The group sits around and enjoys their tea, but Diana suddenly turns away. "Do you hear that?" she asks as her teacup falls to the floor. Pain and confusion cross her face as she quickly moves towards the exit. "I have to go! You stay here! You'll be safer here!" She gasps before leaping into the air and flying away. Moments later, Diana arrives in Union Square over Gateway City. She looks down in horror as she sees small spiders crawling along the concrete, each one broadcasting a strange variation of the Tetraside's call. "Hecate, give me strength to persevere," Diana whispers before she flies down, slamming into the ground and quickly beginning to attack the small mechanical spiders. She begins to smash them and pull people to safety, but there are too many strange robots. "This is too slow. I need them to come to me. I need to be more of a threat," Diana thinks to herself as she reaches into her pouch and pulls out a glowing potion. She smashes it against the ground and the magic spills out, wrapping around her, engulfing her in a magical flame. The spiders immediately turn to this new threat and skitter forward, crawling over Diana as they broadcast their horrid noise. The sound weakens Diana and she falls to her knees. Her mind is full of pain and confusion, but finally she gathers her strength and she smashes her fists into the ground, destroying large swaths of the robots. She leaps into the air and spins, throwing the creatures off of her. As she gathers herself, she turns and sees the spiders are coming from a nearby construction building. "I hope whoever's up there likes getting punched in the throat," Diana growls as she flies to the building. She lands on the upper floors and easily kicks down the half-finished drywall. "Whoever you are, I hope you're at peace with your creators," Diana bellows as she storms into the room, her eyes glowing with magical fury. But Dr. Poison steps back and holds up her hands in surrender.
Wait! Don't hit me! My name is Dr. Poison, and you're going to want to hear me out, Princess.
Poison shouts, making Diana stop short.
I know where you can find an Amazon.
Her eyes widening in shock. And that is where we end issue 8 of Absolute Wonder Woman. Who is this mysterious Dr. Poison? And who is this mysterious new Amazon that Diana didn't know about? You'll just have to subscribe and find out next time. But let me know your thoughts on today's video in the comments below. And like the video if you enjoyed it and share it with your friends. I'm Dan with Comicstorian, and we will see you next time. Rest in peace, Benny.